How's it going, everyone? My name is Mulder and welcome back to the GameChron. Today we're looking at Assassin's Creed Valhalla, 7 essential skills to unlock first. I will go over in detail the 7 skills that I've unlocked early on in the beginning of my game that have made the game just a lot more fun for me. If there's any skills that I've missed that you've been using in the game so far that have made the experience a lot more fun for yourself, definitely drop a comment below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for a lot more. The first skill I'm going to talk about is the Brush with Death. This is easily my favorite skill I've been using in this game so far. For those of you out there that have been struggling taking down zealots or any other type of high-leveled enemy, the Brush of Death can make that fight a lot easier for you. By timing your dodge just right, you'll be able to slow down time. When you slow down time, this allows you to get in between 3 to 5 heavy hits on your target before they're back on the defensive. The moment I unlocked this ability, I immediately went after the first zealot that I counted on the map, and I took this guy down in less than 5 minutes. And for those of you out there that have fought a zealot before in the beginning of your game, you know how difficult this fight can be. For those of you out there looking for more of a deeper challenge for this game, the Brush of Death may make things a bit too easier for you. But for those of you out there that are looking just to have a fun and chaotic time on the battlefield, Brush of Death is definitely the right skill for you. The next skill I'm going to talk about is the Guided Arrow. Now, the Guided Arrow works great in 2 scenarios. The first and most obvious one is that with the Guided Arrow, you can guide your arrow in any direction that you want, so if there's any pesky archers on a ledge that are doing damage to both you or your crew, you can take them out with one easy headshot. But the other great thing too about the Guided Arrow is that you can use this ability to shoot the arrow into a building and destroy a barricade blocking a door. For those of you out there that like go treasure hunting for, say, books of knowledge or any particular type of gear, oftentimes you'll find that stuff locked behind a barricaded door, with a small little crack into the wall on the other side visible just barely for you to shoot an arrow through. With a Guided Arrow, you can guide the arrow in yourself and hit the target on the door perfectly, allowing you to get in every single time. This just makes life so much easier for you. The next skill is Advanced Assassinations. For those of you out there that have unlocked the Hidden Ones Bureau and want to do a bunch of assassination missions, this is an essential skill to have. The reason why is that certain enemies out there, say high-level bosses, those with heavy armor, to even enemies with titles on them, say pickmen or standard bearers, these characters have extra health and extra armor to have to deal with, and a normal assassination attack will not do the job. Having the Advanced Assassination unlocked allows you to finish off these opponents with one single hit if you time your attack just right. This has definitely saved me quite a few headache moments to where my enemy that I was trying to take out was surrounded by a bunch of its allies, to where instead of having a very long and prolonged fight, I was able to drop in, finish off my target quickly, and get out of there before all hell broke loose. Advanced Assassinations is very important to have if you choose to do a bunch of the Hidden Ones missions. The next skill I'm going to talk about is the Battleground Bolt. The Battleground Bolt allows me to pick up any fallen enemy's weapon and throw it at my next available target. This skill is great against opponents with breakable shields because more often than not, when you pick up a fallen enemy's weapon and throw it at them, it will automatically destroy their shield. Not to mention the fact it will also knock them on the ground. So if you have Stomped unlocked, which is one of the first skills you get at the beginning of the game, you can finish them off quickly. The next skill I'm going to talk about is the Bow and Melee Link. Now, this is a passive ability that automatically unlocks the moment you switch from your bow to your melee weapon. This is great for those of you out there that don't like to use the sights on your bows and instead want to do a quick fury of light arrow attacks while then switching to your melee weapon. This gives you a boost of damage when you do that. So if you're the kind of player who doesn't like to go in stealthily and just likes to go in there and just create a big brawl, this is definitely a skill worth having. Speaking of players that like to go in fighting instead of going in stealthily, the next skill I'm going to talk about is Terror. Now, I'm sure as you've watched some of my other videos, you've noticed one of my favorite weapons to use is the Great Axe. Not only does this weapon do devastating damage, but the finishers are just brutal. The great thing too about having Terror unlock is that this passive ability allows my opponents in my area to panic whenever they see me pull off a finisher on one of their own allies. So for example, when I swing my Great Axe and take off a leg and a head of an enemy at the same time, the surrounding opponents around me will begin to panic and back off. This is very useful against difficult sieges of enemy fortresses, or if your allies are just running in to quickly do a raid to get some easy supplies. And then finally, the last skill I'm going to talk about is called the Perfect Attack. Perfect Attack adds more damage to your heavy attacks and is absolutely essential for anyone out there that likes to use heavy weapons like myself. If you like using the Great Sword or the Great Axe, any other two-handed weapons, or the Ball and Chain, in which case it takes a few seconds to wind that thing up in order for you to use it effectively in battle, having the extra damage output definitely makes up for that slowdown. Not only that, but having the Perfect Attack allows you to also do a lot more finishers, I've noticed, because of the fact you're doing so much damage per hit. So comboing this with your Terror attack, you will strike fear into your opponents every single time you enter the battlefield. And that's it for our Assassin's Creed Valhalla 7 essential skills to unlock first. the moment you jump into the game. I'll be doing another video on a bunch of late game skills that I've unlocked a little later down the road. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for a lot more. I've been doing a ton of content on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, so definitely take a look at the playlist whenever you have a chance. And be sure to stick around because I do have a lot more content planned for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, along with the fact of Cyberpunk 2077 the moment that game comes out. So I hope you stick around. But until the next video drops, my name is Mulder, and thank you so much for joining me here today in the GameChron.